What's going on, guys? It is the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you an awesome video. The top 10 roller coasters at Six Flags St. Louis. This park is located in Eureka, Missouri, and they have a great coaster collection for having 10 coasters. Well, at least in my opinion, because some of these rides are fairly underrated, and are some of the best out there of their kind. So let's start with number 10, which is Ninja. This is a thrilling roller coaster, I get it, but the duration, height, and speed are basically all you need to know about this coaster. It's average in the stats, but the drop isn't that good. The intensity, it's not that intense. It is not smooth at all. It almost fails in this category, as it is very rough and not really rideable. It hurt, and the inversions just weren't good. I just don't like this coaster at all and consider it the worst at St. Louis. Number 9 is River King Mine Train, and this coaster has a super long ride in my opinion, 3 lift hills, and a nice closing drop before the brake run. But this coaster isn't really that intense, and the speed isn't good, and the height isn't really good at all. But this ride does give that nice long ride, as well as a decent drop in a tunnel and a fairly smooth mine train experience. And for an aero mine train, River King Mine Train is very smooth. Number 8 is the Boss, and this coaster is cool because it's so large. It has some awesome drops, and it has a super long ride to go with it, which is awesome. I really like the Boss's ride time. And if this ride was RMC'd, what kind of coaster could it become? It could become like the best ride at Six Flags St. Louis easily. But the speed overall is solid for a wooden coaster. The height is alright for a wooden coaster. The drops are good. The smoothness is probably my only complaint about the Boss. If this coaster was smoother, it would be a lot higher on this list. Number 7 is the family spinning coaster Pandemonium. This is a spinning coaster at Six Flags St. Louis, and it is smooth. It has some jerky transitions due to being kind of small, but still is a very smooth coaster, and it may be a clone. Plus, the spinning element of this ride is awesome, so I gave the grade an A. And this ride mainly is known for being smooth and having great spinning. But other than that, this coaster isn't really that intense. There isn't really a drop at all. The height and speed are very bad, and the duration is average. Number 6 is the Vekoma Boomerang of the park, and it's literally named Boomerang. This is a solid coaster. Its duration and height are average. The speed is a little below average at 47 miles per hour, but the 2 drops you go on it forwards and backwards are pretty solid, so I gave it a B. And this coaster is very intense, has some great G-forces, and this Vekoma Boomerang at St. Louis is actually probably the smoothest Vekoma Boomerang I remember ever riding, as I remember not getting headbanging on this coaster, and it is a very fun coaster. The inversions aren't the best, but you transfer through them twice, so that's why I'm giving the grade C+. Plus, this coaster is very intense and defies great G-forces. This coaster is known for being a very common coaster, but still is a very good ride at Six Flags St. Louis. Number 5 is Screamin Eagle, and this ride really is known for the airtime, smoothness, and duration. Everything else you could just take out for this ride. This coaster is not really that intense at all. The drop is mediocre, it's just average. The speed is not bad for a wooden coaster, going a little over 60 miles per hour, and the height is not bad for a wooden coaster, and at one point this was actually the tallest wooden coaster out there, so that's pretty cool. But overall, this ride is alright. It delivers some solid airtime and is probably the smoothest PTC Woody I have ridden. This ride really is known for being a fairly smooth PTC Woody, having some decent airtime moments, and it's a nice long ride. Number 4 is the Fireball, and this is a Larson Super Loop, and you would say this coaster should not be on the list because it's not a coaster, but this ride does feel like a roller coaster when you're riding it. It's glossy smooth and has some amazing hang time for being a clone. I really like the hang time on Fireball, and it is glossy smooth because it's brand new, and these Super Loop rides are known for being very, very smooth. This coaster doesn't really have a drop or speed or height or intensity, but the duration is solid. And you could be saying in the comments this is not a roller coaster, but it does feel like one. Number 3 is Batman the Ride, and this is a awesome B&M invert. Not awesome, but it's solid. The duration is average. The height and speed are a little below average, but the drop is okay. But this ride really is known for the intensity, smoothness, and inversions. The quality of the inversions is awesome on Batman the Ride. They're intense and overall very good. This Batman the Ride clone at St. Louis is smoother than the Great America clone, is the reason why I like it better than the Great America clone. And overall, this is one of the best rides at St. Louis. Number 2 is Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast, and this is an awesome launch coaster. It's very fun. It isn't the most intense, though. It's kind of average when it comes to intensity, as the launch is fairly intense, but doesn't really feel that intense. But the duration is pretty bad. It's only a minute long. But the height and speed are pretty good. The drop is pretty good. It's just the duration and intensity that kind of make this coaster not number 1. But the smoothness of this ride is good, and the launch is super good, so I'm giving the launch category A+. Number 1 is American Thunder. This is the GCI Woody of the park, and overall, this is one of my favorite rides I've ridden. It's just one of those rides that just blew me away. I wasn't really expecting it to be good, but I was just blown away by this ride. The duration, height, and speed you could just counter, because this coaster only goes 48 miles per hour, and it's under 100 feet high, and the duration's average. But other than the stats, this coaster's drop is awesome, especially in the back row. It's intense, very smooth, great airtime, and the bank turns on the ride are pretty good. This is just an awesome ride, and definitely the best ride at Six Flags St. Louis. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.